Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Thank you for the people who actually did check out my last video, which was basically about Final Fantasy 7 on the Nintendo Switch 2, or should I say the Final Fantasy series. More information on that video, so definitely check that one out as we discuss about the Final Fantasy as a whole, or mainly on the Switch. So in today's video, I just kind of want to again talk about more Switch 2. I know lately that's pretty much all I'd been talking about, and I'm guessing a lot of other YouTubers that you probably watch have been talking about it. But you gotta realize, like, the hype is really there, and I'm definitely really hyped for this console. I definitely want to what happened there? Anyway, I definitely want to actually record gameplay and do like little playthroughs when I do get the Nintendo Switch 2. I do need to get a capture card though, but other than that, first I need to get the actual console, which, let me talk about pre-orders, man. It's been kind of crazy lately. Like, I wasn't really expecting the pre-orders to be so crazy in a sense, like, considering the amount of hate or backlash and boycotting that's been going on for the Nintendo Switch 2, I generally thought maybe it wouldn't sell nearly as much, but this is actually way worse, way worse than the original Switch, in the sense of that more people just want the Switch, especially the people who didn't even get the Switch 1 and was probably thinking of getting the OLED, but they was like, nah, let me just wait. Which, well, I did get a normal Switch, but I didn't get the OLED, unfortunately, and lately my thing has been freezing a lot, so I definitely need to get that before I lose my little collection of Switch games, which is something I don't want to go through since I do not have a line, considering that I kind of held off because I wasn't sure what the price is going to be for the Switch 2, considering GameCube's added and all that stuff. But yeah, pre-orders, I feel like this is a great depiction of how pre-orders are going right now. I was literally checking it like midnight basically, and I thought, okay, I don't know why. I was still debating whether I was going to pre-order it or just get it when it actually comes out. But then it was morning, and it was out of stock. Like, there's no shot that it was going to really stay in stock. And yeah, I missed out my chance. And this was literally just me looking at Smith Toys when it comes to like pre-orders. So yeah, that was kind of rough. I definitely need to go another shot because I normally do stay up late anyway, so yeah, let's hope that there's more in stock, and hopefully you guys aren't going through nearly as much trouble as I am or other people. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a bumpy ride so far. Also, there's something else I do want to talk about as well in this video, which does play into a factor on why we're seeing so much developers do keycards exactly. And you're probably wondering what keycards are. If you don't know, they're basically like, it's just digital. it's really not that hard. It's just digital now. I was gonna really do like an elaborate explanation, but it's just digital. They give you like a little code or something like that, and you put it in and you get your game. But obviously these only work if the servers are up. So eventually when Switch 2 does get old and it's a forgotten console, well, I'm guessing these won't really work at all. So it's just something you guys need to look out for, whether you just want to probably just get it on the actual eShop instead, which is probably what I'm going to be doing for the most part, unless there's actual developers actually do physical games. To be honest, I haven't even bought physical games in like forever, right? I haven't really bothered with physical media, which I know you guys are probably hating me because you're like, how could you betray us? You should buy physical media. And I'm like, chill. One, sometimes you don't really get much sales, and most of these games I've been playing digitally are on sale, like, and I mean really good sales. So it only makes sense for me to actually get them digitally when times are rough and you can't really get them physically, or you don't really have the funds to actually pay, I don't know, a lot of these cartridges. So yeah, that is something of a downside. But apparently, according to a leak or whatever, basically rumor, is that basically Nintendo is only offering 64 gig cartridge, and that is pretty much what Cyberpunk is using for their obviously game, because I think it uses like 58 or something, basically, or 60, basically like along the lines of, I'm sorry if you guys can hear stupid plane going by, but it uses that much memory, and so it does make a little bit of sense that, other developers which are way under are not going to really use it too tough. Like, I'm not going to fault anyone for not using, for example, I don't know, Final Fantasy going maybe completely keycard, because I'm just like, dude, why would I waste all that just for when my game is like, I don't know, a few gigs? Obviously, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate will probably be something of 50 or so, or maybe even higher, so it might not even benefit from using one, and so Game Keycard would probably be the natural choice. Now, my opinions on this matter is a little bit weird, because at the same time, I'm like, why don't you offer it? But then I did check out one video, and it did kind of make sense afterwards. Now, considering a lot of developers, the max for the Switch one was basically 32 gigs, and it was, very rare that a lot of people actually used, those type of cartridges, which does make sense because, sometimes game, it might, you're not really going to get all that from the Switch one, so it did make sense for you to maybe not port it over, or maybe just make it a digital copy only in a code or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit understandable, but it is kind of a giveaway and why we're not really seeing much developers really go for that route. And so now we're just seeing game key cards. Like, even if they did offer 32 gigs or 24 gig, or mainly 32 gig Switch 2 cartridges, I doubt a lot of developers would really use it, because it's just probably price. Again, cartridges are still a lot more expensive than that of disc. Disc is very much affordable, and that's the reason why, Nintendo lost out in the first place with the N64, because they did not opt for, obviously, CD-based formats instead of, obviously, just, they stuck with cartridge, which was really not the greatest decision ever, but it is what they chose to really do in the end, which resulted them being second place, and then it just kind of spiraled down when they still tried to switch to CD, but it wasn't really the CD standard and all that stuff. Why am I saying CD? You know what? Disc based. I don't even know why I'm saying CD this whole time. Disc based. But you get what I mean. Like, but overall, that's kind of the story there when it comes to all of that stuff with cartridge. But back to what I was talking about in the sense of stocks and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit rough. And if you could, definitely probably try to get it now. Normally I would say to get it later, wait for a sale. But nowadays, that seems kind of unlikely, since historically it's always gone down in price. But it seems like that's completely changing. As you could see, a lot of consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, and other stuff going up in price, whilst, they should be going down in price over time, but that's not the case right now. And it'll probably get worse when it comes to Switch, because obviously for you guys in America, it's like, what, coming up to 500? So it'll probably be 500 at base price, I don't know, over time, and then the bundles probably be closer to 6. I just really don't know where things are going, and the Terrace, I was going to say Paris, but Terrace has only been delayed to, we'll see, what, 90 days, and I haven't really kept up on when they started doing the delay. They might change, I doubt it, but they might change it, but I'm not holding my breath for that. And, well, I'm mainly in the, obviously UK, so that's a little bit of a different story for me, because the Switch is only, what, 400 as the base price. I round out to 400. It's actually 395, but I'm rounding up to 400 because, when you actually have to order it online, it's kind of a different story. It's like £2, making it close to obviously that of 400 anyway, so it doesn't really matter in that sense. But yeah, hopefully you guys can get, the thing. And again, if you guys don't want to get it just now, because again, there's a lot to buy. You have to buy the Switch, you have to buy at least a game, or I don't know, maybe you just care about the Switch Online update with the GameCube, which I totally understand that point of view, because I'm very much hyped and I'm more waiting for that than I actually am playing the games on Switch 2 itself. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for sure. And I don't know, I'll update you guys what's the price structure of the Switch online, because we haven't gotten any of that, or I don't know of any information that we've gotten regarding the GameCube. So please let me know in the comment section below so that anyone else can also read if the price is this or that. So again, let us all know. Thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, yeah, you know, it is a little bit of a debate of obviously buying a Switch 2. Expense and all this stuff, and you also have to pay for groceries and all these things, and yeah, it is an expensive console, so do take that in mind when you're buying a Switch. That is all I have for today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell, that way you don't miss out any new videos, and like the video if you enjoy it. Peace out guys, and hope you have a great day.